Will the public learn new details, or will we be left out with even more blacked out pages of redacted information? Joining us now, criminal defense attorney R.J. Manuelian. Welcome, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
This week's sentencing document with regard to the former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, does that hold any clues to you? In part, it said the defendant deserves credit for accepting responsibility in a timely fashion and substantially assisting the government. Manafort didn't do that.
Yeah, I think the key words are the substantial assistance. You're going to find out that Michael Flynn has been giving information, and I think this is going to lead to more investigation by Mueller. We're going to find that out once the sentencing report is not redacted, and I think the substantial assistance are their key words. I think that he's talking more, and that's making the president more edgy. I'm going to be bold and go on a prediction and say there's probably going to finger Donald Trump Jr. as having information as to the talks that they had regarding Russian operatives and the backdoor channel policy that they have had of letting the Russians know that they're not going to sanction them once President Trump becomes elected, which is a big no-no. So I think the substantial assistance was, in my opinion, that Flynn was holding out on some other information, and now that he's given a substantial assistance, I think now Mueller feels that he deserves a non-jail offer.
What could we see today about Mueller's reaction to Manafort allegedly lying to his prosecutors and then sharing information about the Russia probe with the White House?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because he's playing a double agent. On one hand, he's supposedly working with Special Prosecutor Mueller, but then he's talking to his lawyers who are going and talking to President Trump's lawyers, Giuliani and them. So I think that there's two issues. Number one, the lawyers that are communicating with each other, they're skating on thin ethical ice.
Okay.
Even though there's a joint defense agreement, the joint defense agreement by Trump's lawyers and the lawyers for Manafort should be null and void once Mueller had Manafort in the plea agreement. But unfortunately, this is not really something that happens often. I've done a lot of plea agreements in these cases. It's not everybody has the president in their back pocket for a pardon in these kinds of cases. So I think Manafort knew this. I think Manafort calculatedly took it to trial, hoping that he'd win. When he didn't win, he played Mueller to try to get Mueller on his side. And when he realized that he wasn't going to get what he wanted, he used President Trump as an ace in the hole to get his pardon. But that may backfire on him, because even if President Trump pardons him, he still has state law that he could be prosecuted at. Unless, there's a big unless, and this is where it gets really interesting, unless the double jeopardy clause of the Constitution is undone. And there's that chance, because right now there's a case called Gamble versus United States. And in Gamble versus United States, they're actually talking about whether or not the double jeopardy clause should be thrown out. So if President Trump pardons Manafort and Gamble overturns the double jeopardy clause, he's not going to be prosecuted. He walks away scot-free. If Gamble is not overturned, then what's going to happen is he'll be probably pardoned anyway, but then he'll have to face state charges, which are a lot easier to fight than federal charges.
Let's go to Michael Cohen. He's pleaded guilty in federal court twice now.
Right.
He seems to be cooperating with federal authorities. What do you make of Michael Cohen? And I mean, he was the president's fixer.
Yes.
Inside as it gets.
Yeah, he was the president's lawyer. So as you know, when you have an attorney-client privilege, there are secrets that you tell. And this is the first time, or one of the first times that I can remember, where a lawyer is being forced to tell secrets about his client. The exception to the rule when Mueller does that with Cohen is if there's a fraud going on between attorney and client, you can't really have that attorney-client confidence anymore. It dissipates. So Michael Cohen right now, in the beginning, if you remember, he was dangling. Well, he wasn't dangling, but he was basically sending messages, smoke signals to Trump saying, look, help me, tweet something about me, let me know that I'm going to be pardoned, just the way he put the pardon on the table for Manafort. When that didn't happen with Cohen, being desperate, the desperate man that he is, he decided to basically tell Mueller everything that he knew, which is really irking President Trump.
All right. Again, thanks to R.J. Manuelian, criminal defense attorney, author, and legal commentator. For more information, you can check out his website and follow him on social media. Good to have you in this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.